Gayatri Rath, I lead communications for Microsoft in India. Over the last several months, we've announced a lot of different interesting news from Microsoft for enterprises, for consumers. But we're really, really excited about what we're going to talk about today. And to talk about it, I want to invite Chairman of Microsoft India, Mr. Bhaskar Pramanik, on stage.
Good morning, and thank you for being with us here today. I don't know whether it's an odd date or an even date, but I appreciate the fact that all of you are here. Today is really a very important day for us, and I'm not saying that because I'm here and I'm going to be talking to you. 4 years ago, when I started my journey with Microsoft, there were three things which I wanted to establish very clearly. And one was our superiority in terms of technology based upon some of the bold aspirations we have to set up our cloud data centers. And we announced our cloud data centers just about 3 to 4 months back. The second was that we wanted to be very clearly in the mobility business, and therefore the acquisition of Nokia was something which was very momentous. It happened over the last couple of years. And today, I think, is a really very important because we firmly have put a flag in India to state that we will bring our first-party products to India. It's taken a lot. People have been asking me over the course of the last couple of years, when are you going to bring Surface to India? And I'm very pleased that today I can stand here and share with you that we are launching Surface in India, available today, available through a multiplicity of different channels, which one of my colleagues will talk to you about. But before I talk about the Surface as a product, I wanted to share with you, who we are as a company. And I'd like to continue to keep reminding you. I know some of you were there when I talked about when we launched the Lumia 950, but I wanted to re-stress this, and I wanted to talk to you as to what our overall mission is as a company, what are our bold aspirations, what are our strategy, and more important, how does Surface fit into all of this? So first of all, our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve. It's very critical and very important because it clearly establishes our differentiation as an IT company. Enterprises, but it is an individual of one, the consumer. And our goal is how can we empower him to achieve more, because that's who we are as a company. That's a bold ambition which we have in terms of how we can bring the best kind of productivity solutions. To be able to achieve that, we have three bold aspirations, and these aspirations is grounded on what we have established as ourselves as a company. The first is that we've always been known as a productivity company, but a productivity of individuals. And I think we've gone beyond that, and our aspiration is to say that how can we help not just the productivity of individuals, but the productivity of groups and organizations, and even the productivity of actual industries. I think that's a very important statement because today we have that capability, and we are looking at how we can create solutions ourselves through our partners to be able to deliver productivity solutions for healthcare, for financial services. And I think it's a complete transformation of who we are as a company. And at the same time, we understand that productivity is not just what you do when you're at work, but productivity is equally important when you're at home. And I can think of many different applications which you can use across a multiplicity of devices, which will make you even more efficient, whether you're a housewife, whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're just a professional. And when we think about productivity, we look at all of that. Productivity is also the ability to be able to use any kind of device. And that's where the mobility of the experiences become very, very critical. So when we talk about the fact that we live in a mobile-first, cloud-first world, when we talk about mobile, we really mean the mobility of the experiences. And this is a very integral part of our overall strategy. And that's why when you think about Office, it's available not just on the Windows platform, but it is also available on iOS. It's also available on Android. And that's that ability to have that mobility of that experience across multiple devices, which is becoming very, very critical and which we have embraced fully. The second important aspiration which we have is about the cloud. And we announced just about 3 months back the establishment and the launch of Microsoft's cloud services through local data centers. And I'm very pleased to inform you that that initiative is doing extremely well. We now have customers across a wide spectrum of different industries, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's startups, whether it is financial services companies, and including the government, which are using the power of this public cloud data centers which we have set up. For a range of applications, everything from using analytics to try and understand how to reduce school dropouts in the state of Andhra Pradesh, towards running productivity solutions for some of the largest banking corporations, or whether you look at risk analysis in financial services, you've got a whole bunch of different kinds of applications. We're looking at how you can run an Internet of Things, create smart cities, smart villages. How can you make smart infrastructure, all running out of these data centers? We're also looking at a very interesting application for large e-commerce companies and startups. So I think there's a whole gamut. And I think the establishment of these cloud data centers has actually given a fillip to the overall IT industry here in India. I think the third bold aspiration is around personal computing. How can we create more personal computing? And I want to spend a little bit more time on this because that puts in context what the Surface is all about. Personal computing is actually three things. It's about not just the device, but it is about the natural user interfaces which all of us have become familiar with. The way you interact with the computer is completely changing. It is using gaze, it's using gestures, it's using touch. All of these are the ways with which you interact with a computer today. And that is going to become more and more interesting and more innovative such solution. And you will see that when we talk about the Surface, those are become some of the natural interfaces which you'll see. You will find that you will have the ability to be able to have and interact with the computer using your own personal assistant. You'll have the ability to be able to interact in multiple different languages. We also have ensured that you have the capability to interact with computers even if you are differently abled. All of that is going to become important. Natural user interfaces are going to play a very, very big role. So we've got this huge computing capability, infinite computing in the cloud, and now we're going to give you the devices which enable you to interact with that for any kind of application, whether it is for work or for play. The second area, which I think is important from a personal computing, is what we call the concept of universal applications. You have a choice of what device you want to use at what point of time. And you may decide that you like Windows on your desk, but you like to use an Android phone, and therefore you have creating islands of information and data, whether it's for work or whether it's for play. And obviously that's not what you like. You'd like to have that same capability, the same integration of information and data across any device at your choice. You're not constrained and forced to use only one kind of device. And that's what we call universal application. And if you think about Office, if you think about Skype, if you think about Bing, these are applications, Cortana, these are now universal applications. And more applications companies are creating these universal applications which can run across a multiplicity of different kinds of devices, including Windows. We are also looking at Windows 10 as being a unifying experience across different form factors. So today, Windows 10 runs on a small phone. In fact, some of you were there when we launched the 950. We call it the 950 as a PC in a phone. So you can start off with something as like a phone. You can move across to two-in-ones, to tablets, to big large screen displays. And we're going to take that Windows 10 we've already taken it to the Xbox. Windows 10 is what drives HoloLens. But think about devices in the future which have no screens. These are the ones like the Internet of Things. All of these run Windows 10. And the advantage of Windows 10 across all of these multitude of factors is that you have a choice. Because once a developer creates an application, it will run across all these different kinds of devices. And it's then for you to decide which one is the most appropriate depending on the context which you're in. And perhaps we'll share with you some of those examples, but Cortana, our personal assistant, I can actually ask it to change my appointment schedule when I'm sitting in the car using my phone. And when I land up in the office and I open up my Surface Pro 4, it will actually show me the change schedule which I have. It's all interconnected. I use the appropriate device at the right time, but everything of mine is stored and available and can be accessed through any of my Windows 10 devices. So that's really what I wanted to share with you from a personal computing perspective. Personal computing is going to be dramatically different from what it was in the past. And it is going to be something which will continue to keep changing the way you interact with computers. It will change the way you can access information, the way you collaborate, the way you share experiences across families or across friends or across even business acquaintances. Coming to Surface, Surface is the best example of what I would consider the personal computing experience for Microsoft. It's a new category. It's what we call the concept of a two-in-one. It's a tablet and a PC in one. It is one device which can fulfill your complete mobility experience, and at the same time, it has the power and the capability to be your key and only device when you're at work or even at play, or when you're in a stationary kind of an environment. And that's really what Surface Pro is about. The Surface is the fastest growing major tablet in the market today. We grew over 100% in the last quarter, and we sold more than 3.6 billion Surface Pros in the last fiscal year. That's $3.6 billion over the last 12 months. The reason I'm giving you this number is not because of the size, but to tell you that we are fully committed to what people call the hardware side of the business. And one of my colleagues is going to share with you what is our experience, what is it that we bring to the table, and what are the kind of investments we've made to create this completely different and new category. Surface has transformed the tablet category because it's focused on productivity and mobility. And we are the most productive tablets on the planet, and that's what people want. So I just want to end with just telling you that the Surface Pro 4 is the thinnest, lightest surface yet. It represents a category which we created and which we are continuing to perfect. So I'm very proud to announce that Surface Pro is now available in India. And to tell you more about the product, I'm going to invite my colleague Vinit Durrani to come and share with you the phenomenal features and capabilities of the Surface Pro 4.
Well, it's been just 5 months back. I had a lot of familiar faces in the audience. We were at Pragati Maidan. We launched Windows 10. And it's just been 5 months, and you actually see the kind of momentum that we've seen with Windows 10 across the world. So 200 million devices that are running Windows 10. We are well on our way to get to 1 billion devices by 2018. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the great support you've been, and obviously all our fans and consumers and commercial audiences who've been really using this product. And every time I go and have a conversation with any customer or a consumer, they just are delighted with the kind of experience that they're getting with Windows 10, and they continue to upgrade, and as we push out more upgrades with this whole Windows as a service model, they're adopting those upgrades as well, and our fan base of Windows Insiders keep just growing and growing. So really, really an exciting time, and what more, I mean, in just 5 months, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I've been in Microsoft for over 10 years, and probably it looks like that this is the moment that I joined the company for. This is an amazing, amazing opportunity and amazing point of time in our company's history at India that we're bringing this device to the market. And so what I'm going to do is spend a little time talking to you about what the device really means to us, and what the product really brings to the market in terms of the capabilities. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of what the Surface Pro is, but bear with me, you will see a lot more new things that we bring with Surface Pro 4 to the market. Can we roll the video? Obviously, being a part of the Surface team, and I get the opportunity to get hands on the devices much earlier than everybody else does. And I've been using this device for the last couple of months, and I can truly tell you this is the one tablet that can completely replace your laptop. What I'll do is, so if you kind of remember about 5 months back when we spoke about Windows 10, one of the great experiences that we talked about in Windows 10 was this personal experience of signing into your device. All of us are familiar with the fact that it's complex for us to keep passwords in different services. A lot of us forget what kind of passwords we put. Some of us make passwords so simple that other people can guess those passwords. So you really don't want people to get into your devices considering the kind of stuff that you have on your device and the information that you have on all of these devices. The Surface Pro 4 integrates the Windows Hello experience. That's a signature experience that we put on our signature device, which allows you to essentially sign into the device using facial recognition. So I'll just show you how I, every day for the last 2 months, sign into my device as it boots up into the Windows Hello experience on my device. Yeah, it's just starting. As soon as the machine logs in, opens up, and I just look at the machine and it signs in. That's the way I've been signing into my machine for the last 2 months. So that's all. I just looked at my machine as my machine booted up every day. I just looked into my machine. Now we take this a step further. We mentioned that this technology is something that you can integrate into all the services that we have as well as our partners we're going to build. So for example, if I go to the Windows Store and buy an application, I don't need to put in my password for the store. I just need to look at the device and it buys the application. So we're going to see this experience come to different services across our own first-party services as well as our third-party services that our partners can write using the same technology as Microsoft Passport, which underlines the Windows Hello technology. Going forward, switch to the presentation, please. This is my Surface Pro 4. I have it in a tablet mode right now since I've disconnected the keyboard. One of the greatest experiences about the Surface Pro 4 is the fact this amazing, brilliant screen that you see on the Surface Pro device. And one of the ways you've got a 12.3-inch screen. If you're familiar with the Surface Pro 3, that's got a 12-inch screen. But what we've been able to do it without increasing the footprint of the device, and I have a Surface Pro 3 is here as well. And if you actually see and hold these two devices together, you'll see that these two devices are exactly the same footprint, the same size. But we've got more real estate on the screen on this one versus this, which is the Surface Pro 3. What we've done is we've reduced the bezel size on the Surface Pro 4, and so you get far more real estate and more viewing area than you get on the Surface Pro 3. And obviously it's thinner and lighter than the Surface Pro 3. This is 8.4 mm versus the 9.1 mm. The only reason we had to stop at 8.4 mm is because you have a full USB port on the Surface Pro 4, and that sort of ensures that you have access to all your printers, applications, and any other devices that you're connecting to the Surface Pro 4. It is a 27 by 36 by 1824 resolution, 267 ppi. It's got our own technology called Pixel Sense, which makes it one of the best screens in its class in the entire industry. And you also get a brilliant 5 million pixels, and you have the way this screen has been built, and I will share this little piece of how the screen really gets built, is that we've got this mechanism that we use, which is called optical bonding, where we take the screen, the glass, and the LCD display, and we bond that together by really sucking out all the air out of it. So you get an absolutely perfect touch, feel, and touch and a writing experience, because one of the most amazing experiences over the Surface is the pen, which I'll talk about in a minute. So you actually get to really be able to touch the pen on this device and be able to get the perfect inking that you can get on the device, and that allows us, and that's basically done by the technology that we built using optical bonding and a bunch of other things. What I would encourage all of you, whoever is here till the afternoon, to be able to really attend a session. We have got a gentleman, my colleague, who goes by the same name, Mitha, who's from our Surface engineering team. He's going to be here in the afternoon at 2:30. Some of you are there, and I'll encourage as many of you who can stay back to attend that session, where we'll walk deeply through how we've really built this. We've got a massive prototyping facility in Redmond, 100,000 square feet, where we are able to really do prototyping and build these designs as we bring them to market. And so you see the kind of capabilities that we're building. You will see Vineet talk about it more in depth. The other amazing experience about the Surface is the pen. The pen is completely a new pen for the Surface Pro 4. Works again, it's backward compatible, so works with the Surface Pro 3 as well. It has 1024 pressure points, so if I apply more pressure, then I'm able to get a far more darker line on wherever I'm taking notes. And if I put less pressure, so just the way you would use a fountain pen, just the way you would write on a piece of paper, and it's got an all-day battery life, all-year battery life. So you don't have to charge this, unlike a lot of other such similar offerings across in the market, where you have to charge them literally every few days or weeks. So the battery lasts for over a year. And we also added a tail eraser, so very simple act, just the way we used to as we were growing up, to use a pen and an eraser at the back, or a pencil and an eraser at the back. Use the back to wipe whatever I've written on my device. And more importantly, we also put certain controls, which you saw some in the Surface Pro 3, but also enhanced in the Surface Pro 4. So when I click my pen and I hold it, I light up the Cortana experience. So I can actually have a conversation with my device and ask questions to Cortana. And what's great about India is that we've actually launched a version of Cortana in November, which is tuned for understanding our English accent, English India accents. And so you can actually interact with your device and both be able to get answers to what are the queries that you have when you have a conversation with Cortana. And the other brilliant thing, this is a device meant for writing. So I want to take notes. Even if the device is locked, I just need to double click, and I'm able to fire the OneNote application, and I'm able to take notes on this application and be able to do various kinds of things. I can clip pictures, I can put things, and I can just get to it the same way that I would get to. So you walk into a meeting, you have a notepad and a pen, you don't want any barrier between you and between the paper and the pen, and the same experience that you get with this device when you start writing on it. So the pen will be available along with the availability of Surface Pro 4. You can buy it separately. Obviously, when we ship every device, the pen is included in the box. We have a new capability of being able to just clip the pen onto the device. So it's got a magnetic side. So you can just store it the way you want to carry it to any meeting, and or you can clip it in your pocket. Or there's another way, when you add the keyboard, you can just simply clip the pen onto the keyboard, and I just walk into a meeting, and just the way you would carry a notepad and walk into a meeting. A very simple, elegant solution. We got a lot of feedback from Surface Pro 3, where people had the pen loops and they would keep losing that, and they would keep dropping the pen, and we heard our customers and we heard our fans, and we made this amazing innovation where you can store the pen right on the side or clip it to the keyboard as you use it. The next amazing thing another thing is when you buy an additional pen, you also get pen tips, and you'll see some of those applications as I'll have some of our partners come up on stage and talk to you about it. So if you're an artist, you can use different kinds of grades of tips that you can change on your pen and do different kinds of graphic artist work or creative work that you would like to do. One of the most amazing things about the Surface Pro 4 is the new keyboard. In fact, it's become a little challenging because I have a lot of colleagues in office who have a Surface Pro 3. And all of them, by far that I know of, either have bought a Surface Pro 4 keyboard or on their way to buy a Surface Pro 4 keyboard. One, it works beautifully with the Surface Pro 3. So you can literally use the same keyboard, the Pro 4 keyboard, and snap it to your Surface Pro 3, so it works beautifully. The other, and obviously it's a beautiful keyboard. If you see the kind of difference on the slide, the older keyboard had no key spacing in between, so it was a little difficult to type. This is more spaced out. It's got a full touchpad, trackpad with 5-point sense, and it's a sleeker, thinner keyboard that you're able to use and get a beautiful typing experience, and that makes the Surface a device which completely is able to replace your laptop. It's got a backlit keyboard as well. The keyboard is backlit, so you're able to type even in poor lighting conditions. Another significant change in the Surface Pro 4 is the new Intel 6th generation chipset. We skipped a generation when we moved from Pro 3 to Pro 4. So the Pro 3 was using a 4th generation chipset, and the Pro 4 uses a 6th generation chipset, which makes the Surface Pro 4 30% faster than the Pro 3. So this sheer computing power that you get much more than what you would be able to get with the Pro 3. We also makes the Surface Pro 4 50% faster than the MacBook Air. So different class of device. It's a tablet that truly, truly can replace your laptop. And then along with this, both for a consumer and commercial customers, you have a great option to get a docking unit. That's the black box on the side, which has multiple ports on it, an Ethernet port, multiple USB ports, and a charging port that you can just connect with your Surface Pro 4 and dock it to your Surface Pro 4. Also works with the Surface Pro 3. And you can actually connect a monitor and a keyboard, and you can do that both at your work as well as your home, so that your experience of just walking in and docking your Surface is just amazing. So it's an option that we are making available for our customers in India as well. At this stage, what I'll do is I'll invite my colleague and our general manager for marketing and operations, Bryson. He's the one person that I know within the company who's been using his Surface device for the last 1 year. And he'll talk about his own experience as a user, whether it has truly replaced his laptop or not. Thank you, Ted.
Well, this is my Surface Pro 3 that I've been using for the last almost 2 years. And I'm just so excited today to be a part of this launch for Surface Pro 4. And that's because I've been living this journey with Surface as a very, very mobile professional for 2 years, and it's been amazing. So today I hope to share with you a little bit with how it's impacted the way I work, the way that I get things done, and the way I have some fun too. So by role, I'm both the general manager of marketing and of operations for Microsoft in India. And it is, I think, one of the most, I've been in India now for 2.5 years. I'm local to Delhi. I live in Anand Niketan. And it's been an amazing experience, basically crisscrossing India and crisscrossing the world. I spend about 40% of my time on the road. I have about 20 different physical meetings a week and about 25 different virtual or Skype meetings going on every week. And this is the device that I use for all of it. Now, when Surface Pro 3 was launched in the United States, I had a great laptop that Microsoft provided me. They didn't instantly just buy me a new Surface Pro. I just went and bought one. And I remember for about 2 months, I had both devices side by side. And in the morning, I had a choice to make. Which one do I pick up and use? And over time, it just became so clear to me the power of the Surface Pro 3 and now the Surface Pro 4. So let me just go ahead and log into my device here, and I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've been learning. So the first thing I want to talk about is just this mobility experience. Bhaskar talked about it, but literally this idea that wherever I go, my information is with me constantly. And so when I pick up my Surface Pro, it is completely synchronized with all of my Office applications, completely synchronized with all of my work documents. I have gone completely paperless. So you'll notice that Bhaskar was using paper earlier to talk about his notes. I don't use that anymore, Bhaskar, sorry. All my notes that I wanted to talk to you about today are right here. And that's because my notes, my meetings, all of my information, it's just naturally with me. I'm not making a choice of, should I pull out that laptop in this meeting? It's not awkward anymore. Have many of you been in a meeting before where you wanted to take notes, but you have this kind of interesting experience of trying to type in a room full of people? I don't type, I just take notes, and it's very natural. It's very natural to take notes and be a part of meetings. And if you don't think that's a powerful experience, you've got to try it. Because not only am I able to take notes and interact with everybody in the room, but I'm able to take pictures. I'm able to record. I'm able to keep a record of everything I've ever done while I've been in India. Let me just give you a simple example, and I'm going to go to the Surface Pro 4. Are we switched over? Okay. So, by the way, this is the Surface Pro 4 that they gave me last night so that I could prepare for this demonstration. I literally logged into the Surface Pro 4, and because of Windows 10, and because of Office, and because of the cloud, everything that's on this device, my old Surface Pro 3, is living with me now in my Surface Pro 4. It's amazing. So when I go to prepare for a meeting on the road, what I have my assistant do is she prepares all of my meeting backgrounders and documentation in OneNote. She works from her PC, and she updates this information, she prepares it for me, and then I walk into a meeting with a customer or a partner, I pull out my Surface, and here it is. So this is my meeting notes from a meeting that I had last September with the Chief Marketing Officer of Jet Airways. We were planning to do some joint marketing together, and what I want to show you is, again, picture yourself in a meeting with a person like that. What do you want to talk about? How do you want to present yourself? How do you want to capture your information? These are all the notes that my assistant had prepared here, and these are all my notes about what happened at the meeting. I don't lose that paper. I know exactly what happened in that meeting. Every single meeting that I've had for the last 2 years is documented, and it's always with me. And by the way, my assistant has access to that information, so if there are things that I need her to follow up on, I just take a note and say, Arnaz, please follow up on this with this person, or set up the next meeting. Another thing that I do as an executive at Microsoft is I'm constantly getting content sent to me, PowerPoints, documents. And if you're on the road, you'll find out it's not always easy to pull out a keyboard and start typing and share some information. So for instance, if I get a new PowerPoint presentation sent over to me, this is a good example, I literally just pull out my pen and I start notating what I want to have happen. And I send the PowerPoint file directly back to the person, and they're getting real-time information and feedback from me. This, of course, applies with all of the Microsoft applications, but now because of Windows 10, it also applies to browsing. I spend a lot of time reading information and articles on the web. I pull out my Surface, I take out my pen, I make a notation, and I share it. It's simple. It works just the way I do. It makes that feeling every day of I'm paperless and I'm productive. Now, unless you think that the only thing I do is work in emails and work in PowerPoint, I also find that this device is an amazing device on the plane. Let me tell you why. How many of you have been on a plane before and been asked to shut off your device as you land or take off? Anybody had that experience? Well, I had this amazing experience that every time I had my laptop out, they asked me to shut down the device. Then I started carrying the Surface Pro 4. And they'd walk around and they'd see me typing and say, shut down that device. I flip it into tablet mode, they never ask me again. What is that? Why is that? Because it's a device that's 2-in-1. I simply flip to tablet mode and I'm productive and I'm still working. Now, of course, I'm not saying not to be safe, but it is a tablet and a laptop all in one. You'll find that experience phenomenal. Another great thing that I wanted to showcase to you is just security. You know, the idea of carrying so much content and information around that is maybe sensitive to an organization, you don't want that on a device that isn't completely secure. You don't want that on a device, for instance, that doesn't have what's called a TPM chip built into it for security. You want to have that device that has rich authentication features like Windows Hello. I've lost a device. I'm sure you have too. With Windows 10 and Microsoft Surface, you'll have the confidence that everything that you work on with that device remains safe and remains secure. The last thing I want to talk to you about is just the fun part of this device. Tablet mode is this idea that says, hey, I'm pulling off the keyboard and I just want to relax. And so whatever content that you bring, your movies, your music, your articles, the things that you like to read are so convenient to have with you all the time. And I carry them with me, and just switching over to tablet mode and being able to quickly read a great article or have a great reading experience because Surface has enabled that. That is the way I work. That is the way Surface impacts the way I'm productive, both at home and at work. And think about this last concept. I mentioned to you that I have this idea of 20 different meetings a week. Mobility isn't just on the airplane. Mobility is also the ability to go from room to room in your offices all day long and be productive. And with the power and battery life of Surface Pro 4, you go 10 hours a day without touching a battery. Room to room, meeting to meeting. In fact, let me show you my calendar today. You get a feel for just all that's going on. Of course, I'm here with you today at the launch, but this is my schedule for the rest of the day. Meeting after meeting after meeting, room after room after room, but the Surface is there. I'm not wondering where my power cord is. It's just right there with me. So in just a few minutes, I wanted to share with you today how, as the Chief Marketing Officer for Microsoft in India and the Chief Operating Officer for Microsoft in India, Surface has really changed my life, changed the way I work. And when I have that decision every morning about which device I carry, it's an easy one. Thank you very much.
You heard from Tyler how he, as a mobile professional, uses the Surface Pro 4 and how it's truly replaced his laptop. We've constantly said that this is a tablet that completely replaces your laptop. And one of the hallmarks of a good laptop is its sheer computing power. One of the ways you really assess the computing power of a device, if you actually step into, let's say, an advertising agency or you meet a creative professional, they're always using these devices that have huge amount of RAM, huge amount of processing power in those devices, and they typically buy these more beefier devices. Can you pack that kind of computing power into a device as thin as this? All of these devices come with Intel 6th generation processor that I spoke about, starting from a Core M to Core i5 and Core i7. What I'll do is I'll actually bring two people on stage who will actually show you the kind of power that these devices have. So please join me in inviting Guru from Adobe, who's a solution consultant with Adobe, and Shevalini, who's a graphic artist, a design professional from Delhi. And both of them will walk you through the kind of tools that Adobe is building in partnership with Microsoft, especially for the Surface device. Over to you.
So, hi everyone, and thanks, Puneet. Ever since tablets were introduced to the world, many creative professionals have been wanting to use our desktop applications on those devices. Unfortunately, and we did try. I mean, we released a bunch of apps that are available on these tablets, but what we realized was that tablets are great for consuming content, not creating it. But I think the Surface Pro completely changes that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you, or we are going to be showing you three apps, three of our most popular apps that designers use around the world, and how we've, along with Microsoft, we've collaborated with Microsoft in order to make that experience of working with the tablet a lot more easier, right? So let me just head over to my device here. And actually what you're looking at, if some of you are familiar, this is Adobe Illustrator. Much of the development actually happens out of our Noida facility here. And you'll notice that what I've got on is a much lighter version of the UI. Typically, a designer on the desktop would look at Illustrator like this. Now, this is a full-blown version of Illustrator. It is not an app. It is just what you would have on your desktop, but now it's running on a Surface Pro. Now, you notice that this was a little too much for many of the designers when we showed them. So we worked with Microsoft and we created something specifically for the Surface Pro. So I'm going to switch over to the touch layout, which you just saw earlier, and this is what it looks like. Much simpler. Now, if you look at the artwork that's right there, that was created by an artist using the Surface Pro. Now, obviously, I won't be able to show you how everything was done, but what I'll show you a bunch of tools that we've created to help artists create art like this much more intuitively and easily on such devices. I'm using my pen, but we also support touch as well. So let me just switch here to show you something. Let's make some leaves here and show you how that's done. So I'm going to switch to the brush. Take, let's say, green color here. And then I'm just going to paint some strokes like that. I'm not an artist like Shevalini, but she's going to show you much cooler stuff. But let me show you how we made it easier even for someone who's not an artist. So now that I've created these, now I need to join those. Now it can be really hard to join lines. So one of the things that the team invented was something called the join tool, where all you need to do is just come down here and circle the area, and we would automatically join those parts out. Once you've got that, I can then select these guys up and maybe fill them up with a particular color. And just to finish this off, then what I could do is come back to the brush tool and maybe select a darker shade of green, something like that, and then use that to just draw some strokes on to the second. Take a darker shade right there, then come back here and do that, and just draw some strokes. And just like Vineet said earlier, the pen understands your touch, so in case you want a thicker stroke, the harder you press, the thicker your stroke becomes. Anyways, so this was one of the tools that the team invented. Another nice thing that we've got here is basically for creating shapes. So for example, let's say I've got these squiggly lines right here, but one of the things in Illustrator is we've got the Shape Builder tool. And what the Shape Builder tool lets you do is basically combine shapes. So I can come down here, combine these shapes here, and then if I want to remove certain parts, I can just come down here and and remove the rest of the parts right there, just making it easy for designers to create art like this. Now, speaking of art, there's another thing that people do a lot with an Illustrator is create logos. So one of the tools that I'm going to show you now is it's one of my favorite tools. It's called the Shaper tool, and this is exclusively available just on the Surface Pro. And what this lets you do is, I was talking to Shaivalini earlier, and typically when you join an art school and you've got to make a circle, you spend 2 weeks just trying to make a perfect circle. But here on this, on the Surface, all I need to do is just come down here, draw a circle, and no matter if it's an oval, Surface Illustrator will make sure that it's a proper circle. Not only that, I can come down here, for example, convert that circle into a pie, or maybe I want to convert that into a wedge. You can do that right there. You want to clean that up, just squiggle lines over it, and then it's gone. Similarly, I can create different shapes, like let's say a triangle. I want to have multiple sides on this triangle. I can rotate it, or I can increase or decrease the number of sides I want it. So now what I'm going to do here is, you look at those primitive shapes there. I'm going to try and show you how you can use the same technique to create something like a logo for a company. Most logos that you see are made up of simple shapes that are then combined to form something complicated. So let me show you what this looks like. So I'm going to use the Shaper tool and just get rid of, let me just undo that. Just get rid of some of these parts here, remove that part, remove that part. Maybe I'll remove that part there, take that part off. And if you want to zoom in, 2 fingers pinch, zoom in right there, and then I can further take out some of that part there and that part there. Right there. And you'll notice that within just seconds, I managed to create something like a logo right there within the surface. Right? So that was Illustrator. Another popular app that many designers use, especially if you're a blogger, you'd be creating websites, and many designers use InDesign to create layouts for their websites. So in order to continue with that innovation that we've made with Illustrator, we've added similar gestures within InDesign. So for example, let's say I wanted to create a simple layout for a website. The first thing I want to do is have an image banner on top. How do I do that? Just come down here. Now the Surface Pro understands certain gestures. These are the gestures that you have. And if you use either your finger or the pen to create these gestures, you can then create any of these shapes. So for example, let's say if I wanted to have an image on the top here, just come in here, make an X, and that creates a placeholder to add an image. I can then come down here and harness the power of the Creative Cloud to then pull down images that I want to use within that context. So I can come down here, for example, select a particular image, and you notice that it pulls that down from the cloud and onto my canvas right here. Similarly, if I wanted to create some paragraph text below that, I can just come down here, again, make a gesture, some lines again, and that automatically translates into paragraph text. So we've got many simple gestures like this to create different layouts, and this is something, the finished one, and then I can come down here, let's say if I want to add some more images, I can continue adding various images and artwork in a similar way. So let me just come down here. I'll just add one last image here, right there. I can select it, move it around, scale it up if I wanted to, place it on the side right there. So that's how easy we've made designing using our apps on the Surface Pro. Now I'm going to introduce Shaivalini. She is one of our worldwide top 25, under 25 artists to be selected by Adobe. And she's going to show you how she's managed to use the Surface to create some interesting character designs. So I'm going to switch here to Shaivalini.
Yeah.
So over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Guru, for the introduction. I am here today to basically talk about how I have been able to incorporate the Surface in my design process. So any segment of design, be it animation, illustration, even graphic design, I think we all start from the basic ideation stage. For me, usually it's a pencil, it's a paper, which I then go ahead and scan, then further digitize. The process, it is definitely tedious. Using the Surface, I've been able to condense all of that and get, I think, extremely precise results with my sketches, with my ideation stage, and as you can see that the experience is pretty much something that we've always been habituated to, which is drawing on a notepad, drawing on an art file. And I think it makes the entire experience much more personalized for me as an artist. Having a more condensed design process, I think what it has done for me is given me much more time to basically add a lot of detail and add a lot of life to everything that I create. For example, here, I've just taken a part of an illustration that I'm going to be showing you guys today. Just very simple things can, you know, add so much more life to what it is that you're creating, and that makes, for a designer, that makes our process much more interesting. The best part, and I think the most important aspect for me as a designer, was that I'm able to get pretty much the same sort of intensity in my illustrations that I would usually get when I'm using a PC. Now, for example here, being able to experiment and explore and adding little factors that come together to bring so much more depth into the illustration is something that I really enjoy. I think as I build my illustration, another thing that I would like to mention is the fact that mobility has become very important for designers nowadays. I'm working independently, I'm traveling most of the time, and having something that sort of allows me to create my illustrations on the go has definitely been helpful. Something as basic and even small features like naming a layer has become so much more intuitive. Even if I'm in a hurry, if I'm just like, you know, sort of spontaneously writing or drawing, it makes my experience so much better. And I think as I've been using the Surface Pro, what I would definitely like to tell designers is that you never know where you're going to be when an idea strikes. You don't know when you're going to have that surge of creativity. Having something that sort of almost instantly lets you create what's in your head, bring it to life, I think is definitely been a really great experience for me. And this is an illustration that I've created using the Surface Pro, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.
So at Adobe, we are super excited with the release of Surface Pro. And this is just the start of what we've been doing. But we do have a little bit of a peek from engineering on some of our futuristic work that you can look forward to sometime this year. So can we please roll a quick video on some of our new stuff? So this was fun for you guys. Thanks for your time. Now you can have Vinith over. Thank you.
And cool and amazing stuff that happens in the Surface Pro, and it needs the kind of computing power that we're able to put this on a device of this form factor. I want to spend a little time on how we're going to bring this to market. So we have a strategy to essentially bring this device both for our commercial and our consumer audiences. We are one of the few OEMs that you'll actually see where the Surface Pro essentially is the same device that ships to the consumer side, consumer audiences, so you and me can buy it as consumers, and also is used by enterprise companies across the world with the enterprise-grade security that comes with the same device, using BitLocker, the TPM chip, Windows Hello experiences that kind of span across both those audiences. We're very pleased to announce that we'll have HCL as our exclusive distributor for the Surface in India. This is a long-standing relationship that we have with HCL. They're a great partner for us. We have a multifaceted relationship with HCL. They're a customer, partner, and we work with the whole group at different levels. And we are very pleased and excited to take this forward today. And we are very keen to see how we can progress this business using HCL's massive distribution capabilities across the country. We're also enlisting 3 partners along with HCL. We have Orient Computers, which is a well-known IT partner in the West. So they're going to manage the West region. So customers who are based in the West region can buy the Surface device and order the Surface device from Orient Computers. We have Frontier, which is in the South, and you have Team Computers, which is in the North and the East, who are going to manage our Surface business for our commercial customers. So all our commercial customers can start ordering today, and all these 3 companies are, we're very pleased and excited to be partnering with them to be able to bring these devices. They also are Microsoft's Gold Certified partners, so they actually sell a lot of our own software services and cloud services. And so the customers can look forward to sort of getting integrated solutions from all these 3 partners when they go and start looking at their Surface as an option for their companies. On the consumer side, we're going to be doing a very interesting, unique model. We are all aware of the fact that e-commerce has really taken off in India. Numbers can vary, but we've seen smartphones go from almost nothing to about 35 to 40% being sold online. So we're seeing a massive shift in the industry. So e-commerce is really a big channel for us. But we're doing something unique. One, we are exclusive with Amazon as a partnership on Amazon, so you'll be able to order your Surface devices on Amazon. But more importantly, we are also bringing a unique omni-channel experience, so you can actually touch, feel the Surface device. So to begin with, in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore, we will have the Surface Pro experience, the one that you sort of will see outside the hall. A similar experience in our Microsoft Priority stores. We'll have 3 stores in Delhi, one in Gurgaon, one in Connaught Place, and the 3rd one in Noida in the Great India Mall, and then another one in Bangalore and another one in Mumbai, and we'll keep adding as we get the feedback and response from our customers. So you can actually go to the Amazon website, and if you still want to touch, feel the product, you can find the addresses of those 5 stores, and you can go physically to those stores and experience the product, but you will be able to order it online and get it delivered from Amazon. Amazon's also going to do premium delivery, which means if you order this, you'll get order before 2 o'clock or before the afternoon, you get the same day delivery. And if you order after 2 o'clock, you will get it the next day. So literally as close to buying it off the shelf. So Amazon's offering a prime experience kind of delivery for the Surface that you don't normally get for all the other products, and it's going to be free of cost. The other amazing experience that we'll have with the Amazon partnership will also be doorstep demos. So you can actually book a demo and somebody can come to your office and be able to show you a Surface product that you can then place the order online, or if you choose to buy it for your company, then you can obviously go to any of our ADR or authorized device resellers like Orient, Frontier, and Team Computers. So coming to the point that a lot of you have been waiting for. So we will have 2 different sets of SKUs for the consumer and commercial businesses. In the consumer side, we will have one device of the Surface Pro 3, a Core i3, 4GB RAM, 128GB SSD. So we'll have one of the Surface Pro 3. You obviously will be able to buy a Surface Pro 4 keyboard along with that. And then you will have 3 SKUs of Surface Pro 4. So starting with the Core i5, which is the one which is listed here with a 4GB RAM and a 128GB SSD, and a Core i5 with 8GB RAM and 256 SSD, and a Core i7 with 8GB RAM and 256 SSD. So those 3 SKUs of Surface Pro 4 and 1 SKU of the Surface Pro 3 for what you order off Amazon. For our commercial customers, we will only ship Surface Pro 4. So you will have a core RAM, 4 GB RAM, 128 GB SSD, and then all the other SKUs are the same as what will be available on Amazon from a consumer standpoint as well. So 4 SKUs in commercial, 4 SKUs in consumers. Our commercial customers will also be able to order the higher end of the Core i7 SKUs, which is the 16 GB RAM SKUs with 16 GB 256 or 16 GB 512 on a back-to-back order basis. We start pre-order today, so you can literally, as I speak, hopefully in the next few minutes, be able to go on to Amazon or be able to reach out to any one of our ADR partners and start getting these devices today, and deliveries start January 14th. That's what I had to share from what we had today. What I'll leave you with is this very, very interesting piece of work that we've got one of our creative professionals from UK, a guy called David, who's a musician, who's built this great experience on the Surface. And I'm sure if you haven't seen this, you'll really enjoy the kind of capabilities that the Surface has and how people across the world are really using it to build even better experiences on top of that. Can you roll the video, please? Thank you. I'll request Bhaskar and Tyler to be on stage, and we'll have a photo op, and then after that we can have any questions that you might have.
That'll be great. We have 2 mic runners. We actually have 4 mic runners. So they're all over the room. So.
Hello, hi, Akshay from Windows Able. You mentioned about the Surface Pro 3 for the consumer, so what's the pricing for that?
I think it's there in the press release. I think it's in the region of about 75,000 rupees. It's a Core i3, 4 GB RAM and a 128 GB SSD. It will ship with the adapter. The pen will be outside the box. You'll have to buy it separately. In all the other SKUs like Surface Pro 4, the pen will be inside the box. Surface Pro 3 will ship without the pen.
And all these will be available starting from today, or
Yes, you can order today by going to, I think it's amazon.com/surface and .in/surface, sorry, .in/surface, and you can also go to surface.com to get more information. And deliveries will start on the 14th.
This is Vineet from TechGuide. I wanted to know, does the price include this pen also?
Yes, on the Pro 4 it includes the pen, and the keyboard you obviously have to buy separately.
Any offers on the Office 365 or on the software that you will be offering? Subscription?
There's a 30-day trial for Office 365 on the device, so you can get productive right away.
Sorry, can you please speak into the microphone?
Can you repeat? The keyboard is, I think it's there in the price list. Roughly 13,000 rupees is the MOP for the keyboard. If you buy when you buy the keyboards along with this device, so you're paying 13,000 with the keyboard. The Surface Pro 4 keyboard. We don't have a Surface Pro 3 keyboard at all.
Hi, this is Ayutananja from Inspire to Rise. I wanted to ask, what's the exact difference between consumer offerings and the offerings for professionals?
There is no difference in the product is the same, except that we've ranged different SKUs for consumer and commercial. So you will essentially go to one of the partners to essentially buy your Surface device from if you're a company or an enterprise or a large company. And then obviously there will be various other offerings that the partner might include as part of the overall solution that they might sell to the customer.
Thanks.
If there are no more questions, we'll close. Thank you very much. Lunch is served outside. Thank you.